Today, my guest has got 3 shops. It's in a business that could become heavily regulated. He's worried if he can carry on in his industry. Right now, he's really profitable. He's got some serious concerns. And for the first time ever on these 350 episodes I've done of this podcast, I was wondering, how do I actually help him grow his business? But I think we came up with some ideas. Take a listen. Okay, let's get ready to speak to Sam Brice. Welcome back, campers, to the Business Broadcast. My guest today is James. My co-host today is James, but guest is Sam Brice. He's got a e-cigarette business. Shall I tell you a little fact, JB, before we get into this?
Go on.
Actually, just doing a breathing thing because of cigarettes.
I actually wasn't, but I'll pretend I was.
I've never tried a cigarette in my life. Have you
not? Oh, yeah, I used to love smoking.
Did you?
I loved smoking.
How many a day?
It was up to 20 a day. Wow. I loved it. I started smoking at 13.
I've never tried drugs, and I've never tried a cigarette.
Okay.
How boring am I?
Yeah, but you've done all right, haven't you? You're not a drinker either, are you?
Not really, no.
What's your only vice? Success.
Sam Brice is our guest today.
I'm glad, but incidentally though, I'm glad I'm not a smoker now, because I would have been on this vape hype.
Oh, I've seen all these little shops around.
Mate.
He's got 3 shops, because I'm actually interested. Are they actually bloody making any money? Because I did think they were like the candy shops around Oxford Street and Regent Street in London. They were just a cover-up for... Because there's no way.
Support, yeah.
There is no way.
Cleaning some money. Cleaning some funds.
No way that those... sweet shops on Regent Street and the Strand and Oxford Street, like in prime locations, are making enough money. And I'll tell you another little thing about them sweet shops. Never see anyone in them.
No, you don't.
Just full of sweets.
And
here's the thing, I was wondering about these vape shops. Do they actually make any money? Well, today, no fear, because we're going to find out if this
does the profitability go up in smoke?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Go on.
So he's got 3 shops, so we'll find out. He has got a business that retails and wholesales e-cigarettes called irresistiblevapes.com. We do not support anything like this on here, so we're not saying anything like that. I think maybe we should say that.
I don't know. Yeah, we said it now.
Yeah, we're not saying you should vape or you shouldn't vape. No. Because I know it's a bit controversial, and he's probably going to come back to us and say, well, don't worry about it. But yeah. I think we should say that.
You're old enough to make up your own minds, hopefully, if you're watching this content.
What's the estimated monthly revenue of this business, JB?
Estimated monthly revenue is £120,000 of the smoking good stuff. Okay. That's what he's got.
Has he got any team members?
He does indeed. He has 11 of them.
And the challenges in the business.
Challenge number 1, needing to hold a lot of stock due to MOQs, minimum orderable quantities of suppliers, and lead times getting the product from the East. Challenge number 2.
I think he means the Far East rather than East London here.
Yeah. It's not like all of his vapes are stuck in Ilford and he just can't get them to Central. Challenge 2, should we add a bolt on to our business in case our industry makes further restriction? Well, I think that's inevitable, isn't it? We want to expand, but we're worried of leasing properties in an uncertain time within our industry. It's getting a lot of hate at the moment, isn't it?
We've banned vaping outside Roller City.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, because we were getting some problems with the vapors.
Oh, really? Is it the same? Is it the same regulations for attractions as smoking?
Some parents don't like it. They say, "Why are you letting people vape outside?" And so we just had to stop it.
So where do they have to go? Like standing in that road?
Just don't vape if you come here. Just roll.
Don't vape, just roll. Sounds like you're selling them
people really,
harder drugs.
Some parents have really got problems with it.
I'm not surprised, because you do see a lot of kids, I can only call them the kids, who are walking around. I saw some this morning, of school uniforms, sucking the old stick. I was like, surely not. Back in the day.
Challenge number 3, please.
Challenge number 3, knowing where to... God, nowhere to invest. We know retail works and we're good at that, but the big money insecurity is with our brand internationally, as if restrictions hit there, we have a backup of international customers. Okay. Should we just find out? Should we get the info out of Sam? Because this is a space we don't know anything about.
Let's do it. Let's bring him on.
Sam, are you there?
I am here. How are we?
Awesome stuff. Good to have you on the podcast. In a year's time, you would like to have 2 more physical stores, 4 new international markets, and with your brand expanding as the go-to in the leisure industry. But you're saying that maybe you don't actually want to open any more stores because of regulations kicking in. Yeah. Can you give us a quick 30-second summary on you and the business as it stands at the moment? And then maybe you can tell us about the regulations shortly thereafter, because obviously this is a changing sector.
So at the moment, they're looking at banning disposable cigarettes, which I think is great, because of all the plastic going into landfill, stuff like that. I'd actually rather they ban disposable vapes, that they buy a refillable one, and then ultimately my brand sells e-liquid, so then they've got to buy my juice. So, if they just ban disposables, that's absolutely fine. But they're also thinking about restricting flavours and...
Why?
Because they're saying that, candy floss and all of this it appeals to kids, right? But us adults, we like flavours as well. So, I don't know why, if they go down the route of going down like plain tobacco or menthol like they have in the Netherlands, it's just going to cause uproar, because 99% of vapers don't vape those two flavours. They actually like apple, whatever. So, yeah.
Why have the government got a problem with vaping? Is it bad for you?
No, it's proven to be 95% safer than smoking. So, the government, the NHS and everyone is behind it. But I think the big problem is, obviously, the disposables have appealed to kids. And obviously, and a disposable can be bought for like £5. So they can buy it with pocket money, for instance. So that's been pretty bad. But then, but vaping, it is proven to be a lot better. For me, myself, I used to smoke and now I vape. I enjoy playing rugby. I've struggled to get around a rugby pitch when I was smoking, but vaping is, I feel fine. So
it is addictive though, is it?
Yeah, of course, you're replacing one nicotine for another.
But you're removing all the tar.
But you're removing all the tar, but you can wean yourself down off of the nicotine as well with vaping.
Fine.
So is there non-nicotine vapes?
There are non-nicotine, yeah. You can just go for flavour, yeah.
Interesting. Well, I never understood. I started to see this. Like my uncle, he's like, I've stopped smoking, and then he was chuffing on the vape, and I was like, you haven't
people,
really, have you?
Loads of people that are vaping all the time, like little trains walking around. Interesting. What about, let's just go straight into these shops. So you said that you're thinking about opening more shops. They actually make money, do they?
Yeah, I mean, we've just opened like a small one in it's like a shopping centre, like just a counter, like a middle counter thing. And the overheads on that are really low, and it takes okay money. It doesn't smash it. It takes £500-600 a day. The profit on that is say £250. I have a member of staff there, say £100 a day. So it works out all right, that one. But my main outlet is it's actually on an industrial estate, and I found that's worked really well for us, because they can park out the front. It's not on a high street where you got to go and find parking and it's a lot of hassle just to get a vape or top up on the liquids that you like. So yeah, the industrial estate one does really well. Obviously the rent's more, but then it's got that wow factor when they come in. We stock loads of products and they can park right outside. Yeah, that one seems to work pretty well.
So what do you turn a day there selling in on an industrial estate?
So that one there, I could do anything, say between 2,000. Sometimes it does 5,000. Like
£5,000 a day on an industrial estate selling vapes.
Sinclair's in. He's in.
Obviously not every day, but that's what we're aiming for. Yeah. But yeah, on average, I'd say between 2,500.
Does that include you selling stuff on the internet, or just people rocking up and buying?
No, just people rocking up. It's open till 8 o'clock, so that one's open up later than our high street.
Is there anything else there? Do you do like a coffee shop kind of vibe? Because I've seen like coffee and vape is like quite.
No, we don't. We're literally strictly just vape. So we offer a loyalty card, so they get 10% back on their spends. But other than that, no, we just have a massive selection. If you was to come into my store compared to anywhere else locally, they're just they wouldn't go anywhere else. I think, because we offer that good customer service and a great product range.
This comes back to an earlier podcast that we've done about the 3 rules of retail: price, convenience, selection. And obviously the price is good, the convenience to get it is good, and the selection is great. You end up cornering the retail market. That's what he's done, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, that's what you've done.
How worried are you though, Sam, about these regulations? Obviously, like I say, they want to ban the disposables, but and the flavours, is that going to have a knock-on effect? Because this is, like you say, I know. Obviously, and you are going to obviously spin the good side of PR for vaping rather than smoking. It's 95% safer, etc. But obviously, yes, us adults also like a choice and all the rest of it. But when it is like Candy Crush and it's bright pink and and all that kind of stuff, you can see why some parents will go, well, it's trying to appeal to kids. Where do you think the regulation's going to get to with the government?
I think they will probably restrict packaging somewhat. Maybe you can't have coloured bottles, stuff like that. My brand, Big Bold, obviously has bold yellow cap, so it does stand out. But I just hope they don't go down the flavour route, because ultimately, people have managed to give up a bad habit of smoking to come over to vaping, and they actually, it's really helped them. I think if you restrict the flavours, I think that's going to be terrible. But I do think they should bring in restrictions. No, let people only be able to buy vape products from vape shops, because instead of convenience, you've got phone shops selling them and news agents. They don't understand, what products to recommend to people. So that's what I would say is, like, say, maybe they need to come in and check my staff know how to recommend certain products, maybe restrict some packaging, I think that's what they should do, and definitely ban disposables. I would say get rid of them. They're no good for anyone. They're selling like 5 million pieces a week in the UK. Imagine all of that going into landfill. It's not good.
It's just fascinating. And how much of your 120 grand a month of revenue that you're doing is off the website, off in online sales?
So online sales for us is very low. It's not. It's funny because my business actually started online. We probably do a couple of thousand, £2,000-3,000 a month. It's not much at all.
I mean, to me, that's where I'll be focusing a lot of my time. Surely.
Yeah, I mean, I've just pulled. We've got a girl, lovely Natalie, who does like our photography work and stuff, and Natalie's been amazing. She's come on doing the photography and videography stuff. We're going to start up our own YouTube as well, because obviously we've been watching your bits and trying to learn as much as we can. I think we do need to focus more on online, but it's difficult because obviously a lot of people have already smashed it. That they've got much bigger budgets, bigger warehousing. And then because I'm no good at that, I feel like I'll be going into an area where I can't fully get behind. I know we're good at retail. I'm not good at brands.
Sounds like a weak excuse to me, my friend, because this thing called the internet, I don't think it's going to be disappearing anytime soon.
And I think also because you've got the link to actual proper retail as well. I think because obviously
I think that's when it really works.
This is
but
where
online's hard, because obviously we can't, because it's no ratings product. You can't use Facebook ads. You can't do Google. So that's why I think we struggle, for developing the online.
Yeah, but you can do search engine optimization, can't you? And there are any other things that you can do. I'm sure you can use TikTok, can't you? They'll let you anything on
your
there,
videos. So we got our TikTok account up to like 40,000 followers quite quick actually, and it just got taken down without any warning.
It's a tricky old industry, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think the link between the online retail and the physical retail, because obviously people are not really going to go on and do cherry blast fruity custard or whatever Jim's got up on his screen at the moment, unless they've tried it and tasted it. But the fact that you could go and see it somewhere or test it somewhere and go and actually experience it.
So you can't do Google ads on it?
No. I know people. I have seen some coming up on my Facebook actually, and I'm
just on there.
There must be a way of doing it, because I'm like,
I'm just putting vape products, and there is zero sponsored ads. It's all optimized stuff. I mean, that will worry me, all of that, by the way, because you're investing in something that the government doesn't want, and eventually they will win because they've got bigger pockets. So that would be constantly on my mind. Which I know it is, because you've sort of said that at the start of the show, but yeah, I wouldn't ever let that leave.
No, it does. Obviously, like when I looked at a unit recently, and I loved it. Prime location, and I know we would smash it there, but and I've tried saying to the landlord, look, can we do a fixed rate for 5 years? I'm happy to agree to your what you want to charge us, but could it be rolling, so that if something changes in our industry, I haven't got to pay those, for, say, we have 6 year or a 3 year break, and I don't want to pay up to the 3 years if it gets banned in the next 6 months, So
what did he say to that?
They're not willing to be flexible. So
what would you do if someone said that to you, Jim?
Well, I wouldn't be. I don't want to. That's why I've sold my buy-to-let properties, because I just look at the government, or as I'm selling them. If they've decided they don't like something, I just think, why try and get one over on them? They will always win.
What about a change in government though? Because obviously we're most likely here in the UK.
I don't think
we can't.
I don't think Labour are going to go, buy-to-let property.
No, fair enough. No.
And do you know what? Our governments are very centralist, aren't they? I mean, what's the difference between the Conservative and Labour? Not very much.
No.
I mean, it's not like Margaret Thatcher and Jeremy Corbyn, where there is a clear difference.
Yeah.
I think we're we're slightly centre left or slightly centre of right, and that would, if you're doing a SWOT analysis on a business, what's our strengths, what's our weaknesses, what's our opportunities, and what's our threats? I'm doing that on my businesses all the time, and the threats to you are pretty high, aren't they? The government could just say, no. But that's probably why I would be focusing, if you wanted to stay in this space, I would be making sure that we try and build our online space. How you do that without Google ads, Facebook ads, you do it with search engine optimization. I think it's important. I think you're going to have to do some PR around it. Because
it's also going to be very difficult.
Yeah.
Very, very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in a challenging space. This is a challenging space without a doubt. I think going, the link between, physical retail and your online retail, I think if you made that link really, really abundantly clear, and that's a great USP, because I think one of the threats with this is that someone somewhere, I could go on today, I could go on to Alibaba, and I can probably find a supplier of spicy apple juice. And I don't know what the hell that I'm doing with this stuff, but I could, in theory, bang up a landing page, do a bit of branding, get a digital render, stick some branding onto it, and I could be selling this to people really, really quickly.
Can we ask him, is that what JB's just said there, is that true?
I mean, it is quite simple to make it, but then obviously, how good is your product? Like, it is a very busy.
I get that. No, I absolutely get that, but that's why drug dealers exist. They're not good, are they? But people buy it. But what I'm saying is it very simple to just go to India, China, or Turkey, or whatever, and buy the products and sell it in the UK?
You can do, yeah.
And that's probably why governments don't like it. So I import lots of toys, but the checks and the regulation that we have to send to trading standards to be able to sell them are high, and I like that. That puts a moat around my business. I like that we're regulated by it. I like that the government is so strict on just doing that. Because there's this, I don't know if you've heard this website called Temu, T-E-M-U. You must have seen.
Oh, yes, I have. Yeah.
Have you seen any ads on this, mate?
I haven't, no.
No, so these are like importing direct from the Far East.
Yeah.
And it's irresistibly cheap.
Yeah.
It's like you can buy stuff that's 30% of the price that you'd buy in Sainsbury's or Tesco's. Yeah.
It's like it started off in sort of fashion, didn't it? Like Shein and all of these sort of like low cost, super fast fashion brands. And now they're kind of.
So people are buying like party bag fillers and toys.
Yeah.
A fraction of the price.
Yeah.
They're like less than what we can import it for. But they haven't been tested. They'll have the dodgy toxic paints. I'm saying this everyone, but basically they're going direct from the factory in China
the consumer.
To the consumer without all of that health and safety and testing in between, in most cases, not in all cases. And that's why it's so cheap, because bloody hell, how do they do this, But it's because, it costs us around £2,500 just to test a teddy bear.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Set on fire, it's pulled, where the paints come from, all of this stuff to make sure that it's safe for UK consumption or UK use. And we're very strict on that in Europe. Europe and the UK are very high on safety standards, and America and other countries around the world are just not as strict as us. And I would be worried about that. And I'm telling you now, you're right. The UK government and European governments will look to regulate things to protect consumers.
We do have, TPD, so all of our products, we have to, notify them of what's it, all of that. But, obviously people could, in China, I suppose they could go through the registration process and then sell cheaply to the UK. They're already doing it, so...
But let's look at the positives. We've got 3 shops that are making money. You're making money at the moment. I definitely think you should build up surely people, or do they not? Is this one of the rare things where people are still buying it physically? Or
I think, where you can test it in store. Like you say, it's hard online. Like you say, you don't know what you're getting, whereas in store you can taste and check the product's good.
So every day... So if you open a store on a high street, you're pretty confident within weeks you're making good money.
Yeah.
So that's not normal for retail. Most retailers are bloody losing money. Even John Lewis can't make money.
Yeah, it's very saturated. That's why there are. If you go on any high street, you've got 3, 4 or more vape shops there. But that's why. I might let out a bit of a secret here to any of the listeners. We've found that industrial estates work, so that's where predominantly I'm going to be looking now.
But I don't think that is a big secret. I think off
high street.
Off high street. That's what I'm looking for there. Retail parks, Costco, Sainsbury's, and Tesco's don't want to be building stores on high streets because price, convenience, selection is what makes retail work. And if you can, like you just alluded to, park really easily and get out of your car like you can go to Sainsbury's in a retail park is much easier than going to Sainsbury's that would have been on a high street 20 years ago. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I think the key with this business, with the regulation that is inevitably going to become, because the branding at the moment is so garish, it's so brash, it's so appealing, it is going to have to change, isn't it, ultimately? And at the moment it's a sort of a brand play. Ultimately, I think you have to protect your back end. So
I think the good news is, though, that you recognise all that stuff now.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people will.
They'll just cash cow it while it's there as fast as they can and get out when it's over.
Or they don't even see it coming. The house just completely falls down in the middle of the storm, but you're seeing the storm coming 2, 3, 4, 5. You might get 10 years out of it, but I think you're right. The regulation is coming.
And with those profits, then, as your model would be, Jim, go and sink it into stuff that's going to give you those slow pounds. So go and buy, go and buy some stuff, go and buy property, go and buy bricks and mortar, which will be here in 10, 15, 20 years' time. Whereas this market's not guaranteed to be. It'll obviously be here in some guise or another because people like it. There's obviously a massive demand for it. But with change will come different consumer behaviours and regulations.
You could, the regulations could help you. Because every industry that we go into, if we look at the importing market, if you go back 30, 40 years, people could just import stuff from China, from Turkey, from India, and just sell it in the UK. And until someone gets an accident or chokes on that, whatever it is, then regulation comes. And at first, industry hates the regulation. Then industry goes, actually, we like this regulation because it stops all Tom, Dick and Harry getting into our space. Look at childcare, which is a massive industry here in the UK. You didn't need any qualifications. You just got a village hall, come in here. And then hang on a sec, let's Ofsted this, let's regulate this. Actually drives the value of the industry up and gives you good exit prices should you want to leave that marketplace. So there are good news with regulation. It ends up making your business worth a lot more money.
Yeah.
Jim, one of the only rare ones that I don't know that's regulated is that funeral care business. It's not regulated. Anyone can just
set up shop.
It's weird.
Yeah. And I think to protect on the sort of the more front end protection, I think that putting more time, effort and energy into your brand for international sales probably makes a lot of sense, because you are, opening a store is obviously capital intensive. It's also a big risk, and like you found with the landlords, you're not going to find landlords who go, oh yeah, I'll do it for fixed for 5 years, but if this regulation gets us shut down, can we just hand the keys back? Like, no one's going for that deal. No. Which is why you've got to buy somewhere rather than having to rent somewhere, fundamentally. But I think we'll clamp down really, really quickly here and really hard. But I think Holland, France, Poland, other international markets won't.
If this was my business, do you know what I would do?
Start one called Smoky Gyms.
No,
that's what you should do, by the way.
No, I would probably start a convenience store, which would be much lower margin, but it would bring people into my convenience store, and it would protect me for regularity going forward. Oh. Convenience stores still make good money. Do you know, like a little co-op can do 2, 3, 4, 5 million pounds a year turnover? Really profitable, and it brings people in, and they'll, that's what I would probably do. I then look to bring in other products around low margin stuff, which convenience stores are. But convenience stores make good money if you can get the right location. You build a big property portfolio on the back of it, and then you have a little vape shop in your convenience store. Oh, that's a good idea.
What do you think of that, Sam?
It's something we could look into. Yeah, I mean,
he didn't like it.
No,
he didn't like it.
I'm always trying to.
The thing is, it doesn't excite me. I love, I do enjoy this industry, because it's not like I'm selling, a fridge or something like that, where it's just not exciting. Whereas this, you go to the shows. There's a big, obviously it's a big show, and and it's a fun industry to be in. You've now got, celebrities now having their own brands and things. It's just a cool place to be.
Yeah, I'm just trying to protect you, that if in 5-10 years time.
Yeah.
I think the other thing to see is what's coming down the road next, because I think the regulations are changing with regards to medical marijuana and stuff. I know, for example, what's he called, Big Nasty, the rapper, he's got his own brand of medical marijuana that's coming out very shortly. I saw a post that he did about it the other day. So I think if you're in this space, in this sector, there's probably like a natural correlation. Are we going to go down the California route where you have to be like a licensed hemp store potentially? Who knows? And like I say, but
that could be, like I was saying, that could be good news.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think making yourself a key sort of pillar of this industry, make yourself like as Jimbo would say, make yourself famous to a few. Go on loads of podcasts about this. Become write white papers about this. Write PR releases about this, and really become the go-to person in the space, so that you are like fighting for the industry in general rather than just your own brand, and that will elevate your positioning. We'll get you on the keynote stages. We'll get you the opportunities to go to conventions and conferences and all that sort of stuff. And then you become known in that space, which then will help your brand to be sold internationally and all that kind of stuff.
Because if you want to sell online, attention is the commodity you need to get those online sales.
Yeah,
that's a great idea. Well, anything else you'd like to ask us?
So one of the things I struggle with, and you've probably already answered this for other, I'm no doubt somebody has asked you, but I really struggle with switching off, because I feel like I'm a bit addicted to business. I'll get home and I'll obviously read your book, watched all of your YouTube channels, and I just find it hard to switch off. And then obviously it causes arguments indoors with the wife. Give us a bit of your time. How do you find a way to, just switch off? And
I think you can't change who you are.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But I personally want to be a good dad, and I want to have a good family life as much as a good business life. I love both.
Yeah.
It's difficult. And it's just the curse of probably most of the people that listen to this podcast has it.
Top easy hack: keep your phone out of the room where you are with your wife and your kids. That is such an easy one, because then you're not looking at the pings and the dings and all that. We'll make a rule with yourself that you go into the house, and when you walk through the front door, you leave your phone in your coat pocket. And if, for example, you've got kids, let's say you get home at 5 o'clock and the kids are in bed by 7 or 8 o'clock, that's your protected family time, and protect it like you would any other meeting or anything like that. That's what I would say. And then because quite often we are reactive rather than proactive with all this stuff, and just making that little difference could make a huge difference.
Yeah.
And they just want your time more than anything. But
That's a very good piece of advice, actually.
Yeah,
JB.
yeah.
is that the best thing I've ever said to you, Jimbo?
Yeah, maybe.
There you go. Well, thank you for being on, Sam. Sorry we haven't got loads of different ways to grow this business, but it's an interesting and a tricky sector. I would say, as again, a bit of advice, protect the back end, because regulation is going to come. You can see the storm coming, so what else are you building to protect yourself? And I would say, making yourself an influencer, thought leader in that sector and space as the rules change is not going to be a bad thing for you. So
Okay.
Cool.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks for being on. Thanks for watching
thank you
the content.
very much, Sam.
Thanks,
very
guys.
much. Wow, interesting one.
There you go. Thanks for listening to the Thanks for listening to the business broadcast. I've been James Sinclair, and you've been.
I've been James Burt.
Yeah, there you go.
Bye, everybody.
Little tribute to Morecambe and Weiss there.
Bye, everyone. See you on the next pod.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.